On an ordinary day in Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob SquarePants woke up with an idea that popped into his sponge-like head. Today, he announced to his pet snail, Gary, I shall start my very own garden. SpongeBob had recently been inspired by a television show on undersea gardening and was eager to try his hand at cultivating plants. He slipped into his trademark SquarePants, grabbed a couple of Krabby Patties for breakfast, and set out to gather gardening supplies. First stop was Sandy Cheeks Dome. The intelligent squirrel from Texas was known for her love of nature and would surely have some pointers.
Howdy, SpongeBob.
What brings you here today? Sandy greeted him with her usual enthusiasm. Hiya, Sandy. I've decided to plant a garden right next to my pineapple, and I need some advice, SpongeBob replied, grinning from ear to ear. Well, you came to the right place, said Sandy, motioning for SpongeBob to follow her. She handed him a bag of seeds and explained, these are clamshell daisies, perfect for Bikini Bottom's salty seawater. With a few more tips from Sandy, SpongeBob left her dome bouncing with excitement. Next, SpongeBob dived into the nearest kelp forest, where he gathered some seaweed soil to nourish his new plants, humming a cheerful tune as he worked. He managed to find a variety of colorful seashells too, intending to use them as borders for his garden. Back at his pineapple home, SpongeBob rolled up his sleeves and began to plant the clamshell daisies. Patrick Star, his starfish best friend, wandered over just then. "What ya doing, SpongeBob?" Patrick asked, a look of curiosity on his face. "I'm making a garden, Patrick. Isn't it exciting?" SpongeBob didn't pause his planting as he explained. Patrick nodded, though unsure what a garden involved exactly. "Can I help?" "Sure thing. You can help me water these," SpongeBob replied, handing Patrick a watering can. They spent the whole afternoon working on the garden, singing SpongeBob's favorite gardening song and accidentally spilling water all over themselves. By the time evening arrived, they stepped back to admire their handiwork. The garden was still in its infancy, but the rows of neatly planted daisies promised beauty to come. Just as they were finishing up, Squidward Tentacles, SpongeBob's grumpy neighbor, poked his head over the fence. "What's all this racket about?" he demanded. "Hi, Squidward. It's a garden," SpongeBob answered brightly. "We're growing clamshell daisies. Wanna join us? Gardening? Why would I?" Squidward stopped, a thought dawning on him. "Actually, yes, I have some seaweed pots that need planting. Mind if I use some space?" "Of course, Squidward. The more, the merrier," SpongeBob exclaimed. And so, with Squidward grumbling but secretly pleased, the three neighbors worked side by side, planting and chatting until the underwater stars twinkled above. By the end, SpongeBob was thrilled. Not only had he begun his first garden, but he'd also turned a simple idea into a community event, bringing everyone together. As he lay in bed that night, dreams of colorful flowers and garden parties filled his mind, and he knew this was only the beginning of his green thumb adventure.